decentralized
And
context.
just one last question. To me, it's reasonable to compare you, I usually don't do this, to Steve Jobs and what he did for computing.
Imagine dropping out of Stanford in your second semester to create a revolution in healthcare. This is the story of Elizabeth Holmes. Born to a family of innovators and visionaries, Elizabeth was never one to conform to the norm. Following in the footsteps of tech giants before her, she left the ivy-covered walls of Stanford to chase a dream: Theranos. Her company promised to transform the healthcare industry with a device that could perform hundreds of tests from a single drop of blood. The world watched in awe as the media crowned her. The female Steve Jobs, and her company's valuation soared to an impressive $9 billion. Theranos was on everyone's lips from Wall Street to the White House. Elizabeth Holmes was living the American dream, a symbol of success and innovation. But as the saying goes, all that glitters is not gold. Beneath the shining facade of Theranos, questions began to surface. The medical community began to raise eyebrows at the company's technology, a device rumored to perform hundreds of tests with just a droplet of blood. The premise seemed too good to be true, and for many, it was. The secrecy shrouding the technology stirred a whirlpool of doubts. Elizabeth Holmes, the charismatic leader at the helm of Theranos, remained tight-lipped, refusing to reveal the technology that powered the device. She claimed it was a business secret, a treasure that if revealed would be stolen by competitors. But this secrecy only fueled the growing skepticism. Amid the cloud of doubt, investigative journalism stepped in to clear the air. Journalists, armed with determination and the help of a whistleblower, dove into the murky depths of Theranos. What they uncovered was a deception of epic proportions. The technology, the backbone of Theranos, was essentially a mirage, a hollow promise that couldn't deliver. Elizabeth Holmes, once a beacon of hope in the tech world, was revealed as the architect of a grand illusion. She had put the lives of patients in danger with a device that didn't work, a device that gave false results. The consequences of this deception were severe, impacting not just the patients who relied on the test results, but also the investors who had poured their faith and money into Theranos. The investors, who had collectively invested over $900 million, were left high and dry. Their money had been lavished on maintaining a facade, on building an empire that was destined to crumble. And crumble, it did. The truth, like a wrecking ball, tore through the walls of deception, bringing down the castle that Elizabeth Holmes had built. The fall was swift and brutal. The woman who was once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, the woman who was once the youngest self-made female billionaire, was left amidst the ruins of her own making. Elizabeth Holmes, once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, had built a castle on sand. And when the truth came out, her empire crumbled. From an early age, Elizabeth harbored a deep-seated fear of needles, an anxiety that would later inspire the concept for Theranos. Influenced by her successful parents and growing up in an environment buzzing with ambition, she dreamt of transforming healthcare, making diagnostic testing accessible and affordable. And so, the fear of a child gave birth to a dream that promised to revolutionize healthcare. From this dream, Theranos was born. With an audacious vision and an unshakable belief in her own abilities, Elizabeth Holmes founded Theranos in the year 2003. Her goal? To revolutionize the healthcare industry by making diagnostic testing more accessible and affordable. Theranos promised to deliver a wide range of diagnostic tests using just a few drops of blood, a stark contrast to the traditional method of drawing vials of blood from a vein. This innovation was designed to alleviate the fear and inconvenience often associated with blood tests. The idea was groundbreaking, the potential transformative. Elizabeth's vision and determination led her to build a billion-dollar company that could potentially change the way we think about healthcare. The influence of Elizabeth's childhood and her parents' success played a significant role in shaping her future. Elizabeth Holmes, the child who feared needles, grew into a woman who dared to dream of a world where healthcare was not only accessible but also convenient. Her parents' achievements and her upbringing in the heart of American politics fueled her ambition and determination. This journey shaped her, but it also had a profound impact on the healthcare industry. Elizabeth's vision for Theranos, built from her childhood fear, promised to revolutionize diagnostic testing. She envisioned a future where a few drops of blood could replace vials, and invasive procedures could be a thing of the past. Elizabeth Holmes, a woman who took her childhood fear and transformed it into a dream that could change the world of healthcare forever. Who is Sunny Balwani, and why is he vital in understanding the Elizabeth Holmes saga? In 2002, a young Stanford freshman, Elizabeth Holmes, crossed paths with seasoned Silicon Valley entrepreneur, Sunny Balwani. Their initial mentor-mentee relationship flourished, evolving into a personal bond. This initial encounter laid the groundwork for their future collaboration and close partnership within the company. In 2009, Balwani stepped into the role of President and Chief Operating Officer at Theranos. He was the helm of the ship, overseeing day-to-day operations, managing partnerships, and handling business development and regulatory affairs. A key figure in the company's growth, Balwani was instrumental in expanding Theranos' footprint in the healthcare industry. Together with Holmes, Balwani worked tirelessly to promote the company's technology and vision, often serving as the public face of Theranos. However, the dynamics within the company were not as pristine as they appeared from the outside. Balwani's management was intense and demanding, fostering a high-pressure work environment. His direct, often abrasive style bred a culture of fear and secrecy. Employees felt cornered, unable to voice concerns or challenge decisions. His leadership not only shaped the company's culture but also its fate. This high-intensity environment and the allegations of fraud and unethical practices would later become a significant component of the legal troubles faced by both Holmes and Balwani. Imagine a world where a single drop of blood could unlock a treasure trove of health information. This was the vision sold by Elizabeth Holmes, the enigmatic founder of Theranos, a once multi-billion-dollar biotech company. Holmes, a charismatic and persuasive communicator, painted a future where Theranos' revolutionary technology could make healthcare more accessible and efficient. This potent vision of innovation was a key strategy in attracting a diverse range of investors. Among the first to buy into this vision was Rupert Murdoch, media mogul and founder of News Corporation. His investment of $5.8 million in 2005 signaled a vote of confidence in the potential of Theranos' technology. Venture capital firm Draper Fisher Jurvetson, led by renowned investor Tim Draper, also saw the potential and backed Theranos with substantial funding. Oracle executive chairman and founder Larry Ellison too placed his bet on the company. Established companies like Walgreens made a significant investment of $50 million, indicating the company's potential to disrupt the healthcare industry. ATA Ventures and Fortress Investment Group also bolstered Theranos' financial resources with their investments. By securing such a diverse range of high-profile investors, Holmes was able to raise significant funds for Theranos. Each investment, each vote of confidence propelled the company closer to its ambitious goal of revolutionizing healthcare through its innovative blood testing technology. Yet as the story unfolded, the reality proved to be far from the promise. But that is a tale for another time. For now, we marvel at the power of a compelling vision, a charismatic leader, and the lure of innovation, and the impact they can have on even the most discerning of investors.
Remember when Elizabeth Holmes promised that Theranos had developed revolutionary technology that could conduct a wide range of medical tests using just a few drops of blood? The idea was to make blood testing more accessible, faster and cheaper. Holmes claimed that their technology, a device they named Edison, could run hundreds of tests with high accuracy, all from a small sample size. It was supposed to replace traditional venous blood draws, making testing more convenient and less invasive for patients. These bold promises attracted significant investments from prominent families such as the DeVos and Walton families, and partnerships with major companies like Walgreens and Safeway. At its peak, this hype led to a staggering valuation of over $9 billion. The promises were bold and exciting, but as we now know, things didn't quite pan out as promised. It wasn't long before the truth began to seep out, revealing a far less rosy picture. Imagine a device that could revolutionize medical testing, adding convenience and speed to a process that was traditionally slow and cumbersome. Now imagine you find out the device is faulty and unreliable. That was the harsh reality behind the hype of Theranos' Edison device. Despite the fanfare and promising claims, it was discovered that this groundbreaking technology was not working properly. It was producing inaccurate and unreliable results, a far cry from the precision and reliability Elizabeth Holmes had promised. But rather than address these issues, Holmes and her company continued to use the faulty device, marketing it as a reliable testing method. This wasn't just a case of false advertising or overstated claims. This decision had real-world implications, and they were far from benign. Inaccurate results from the Edison device risked leading to incorrect diagnoses. Patients could have undergone unnecessary treatments or been prescribed potentially harmful medications based on false information. The stakes were high. This wasn't about a defective product, it was about people's health and lives. The story of Theranos is not just about a failed technology, it's about a betrayal of trust. Patients trusted the results they received, doctors trusted the data to make informed decisions. Investors trusted the company's promises of innovation and disruption. As the truth began to emerge, it became clear that this trust was misplaced. Patients were misled, investors were deceived, and the healthcare system was shaken. The reality behind the hype was a stark reminder of the potential dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of transparency and integrity in healthcare innovation. Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos didn't take kindly to criticism or scrutiny. They had a notorious reputation for retaliating against those who dared to question the validity of their technology. Whistleblowers, journalists and former employees alike were threatened with legal action if they dared to expose the company's fraudulent practices. This was a clear intimidation tactic, aimed at silencing those who held damaging information that could shatter the company's carefully constructed public image. These threats served a chilling purpose: to instill fear and suppress the truth. The looming spectre of a lawsuit was often enough to keep many would-be critics silent, allowing Theranos to maintain a facade of success and innovation. This strategy was part of a larger effort to keep the world in the dark about the reality of the company's failing technology. But the truth, as they say, has a way of coming out. Let's not forget about the fabricated contract with the US Army. Elizabeth Holmes, in her bid to further elevate the reputation of Theranos, didn't stop at empty promises and intimidation tactics. She went as far as to concoct a false narrative, claiming that Theranos had secured a contract with the US Army. The story was that their device was being used in the battlefield, a claim designed to boost the credibility of Theranos exponentially. After all, if the US Army trusted their technology, why shouldn't investors and the public? This bold-faced lie was a strategic move, aimed at attracting more investors, more customers, and more business opportunities. The association with the US Army was supposed to lend an air of legitimacy to their technology, further solidifying the image of Theranos as a cutting-edge, innovative company. However, as with all things built on falsehoods, the truth eventually surfaced. The so-called contract with the US Army was nothing but a sham. Theranos had misled not only the public but also their investors about the extent of their involvement with the military. This revelation was a significant blow to the company's credibility, further exposing the deceitful practices at the heart of Theranos. In the end, the house of cards came crashing down, exposing one of the biggest frauds in Silicon Valley history. The story of Theranos serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of deception and the importance of integrity in the world of business and technology.
What happens when the trust of investors is betrayed and their money is used not for business growth but for personal gain? That's precisely the question we're exploring today as we delve into the initial stages of misuse by Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani at the helm of Theranos. The pair began to divert investor funds earmarked for the development of the company's technology and operations, instead spending on personal luxuries. Luxury cars, private jet travel, and personal security guards. These became the symbols of their opulence. But these were more than just symbols. They were glaring indicators of a disturbing lack of integrity and financial responsibility. Instead of steering the company towards its mission, these funds were squandered on extravagances, creating a trail of gross financial mismanagement. This was just the beginning of a pattern of misuse that would eventually lead to the downfall of Theranos. But as we'll see, the misuse didn't stop there, it only escalated. But the misuse didn't stop at personal luxuries. It extended to financing legal battles against those who dared to expose the truth. As whistleblowers arose, Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani chose not to address the claims, but instead to retaliate with costly litigation. These legal battles were not financed from their personal coffers, but with the very investment funds meant to bolster Theranos' mission. This strategy served to drain resources that could have been used for legitimate business activities, further undermining the company's stability. This diversion of funds was not merely a financial misstep. It fostered a culture of secrecy and deception within the company. By choosing to fight those who threatened to expose their fraudulent practices, Holmes and Balwani sent a chilling message to employees and investors alike. Dissent will not be tolerated. The truth about Theranos was buried under layers of litigation and fear. But the misuse reached even darker depths as it turned from legal battles to personal intimidation. Imagine being watched, followed, and intimidated, all because you wanted to expose the truth. Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani, in their desperate attempts to keep their fraudulent activities under wraps, hired private detectives. These silent shadows were tasked with a mission not of protection but of intimidation. Their targets? Former employees who were potential whistleblowers. These investigators, funded by the very money meant to advance Theranos' mission, were the unseen eyes in every corner, creating a chilling climate of fear. This wasn't just about surveillance. It was a psychological war, a clear message to those considering exposing the company's deceptions. Speak out, and you will be watched. Speak out, and you will be followed. This misuse of funds not only violated the rights of former employees, but also further perpetuated a culture of fear and secrecy within Theranos. In their quest to silence the truth, Holmes and Balwani only amplified their deception.
Could you imagine a multi-billion-dollar company built on a foundation of lies and deception? Welcome to the world of Theranos and its founder, Elizabeth Holmes. This once revolutionary healthcare tech company, backed by high-profile investors, projected an image of groundbreaking innovation. However, beneath the surface lied a different reality. A reality of manipulated data, fabricated results, and a culture of fear and obedience, all masterfully orchestrated by Holmes herself. But how did this all start, and where did it all go wrong? Let's take a closer look. Holmes was a master of illusion, creating fake laboratory settings and producing fabricated results to deceive potential investors. She orchestrated a grand spectacle for Vice President Joe Biden, complete with staged demonstrations in controlled environments. These performances, rife with manipulated data and misleading results, painted Theranos as a beacon of innovation. Yet beneath the veneer of progress and precision, a web of deceit was being spun. Holmes was playing a game where the stakes were high, the audience was vast, and the truth was optional. But the deceit didn't stop there. Holmes and her partner, Sunny Balwani, ruled Theranos with an iron fist. In a chilling dance of power, they silenced anyone who dared to question their methods or integrity. The company's culture was steeped in fear and obedience, stifling critical thinking and dissent. Employees who sought clarity were dismissed, their concerns cast aside like unwanted debris. All this, a desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of success and innovation. But as the saying goes, you can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. The facade of success and innovation was maintained, but for how long? As the truth started to unravel, the once celebrated startup began its downward spiral. Doubts and investigations gave way to undeniable facts, pulling the curtain back on the grand illusion. The fallout was immense for Holmes, Balwani, and the deceived investors. Careers were tarnished, reputations shattered, and trust was lost. The final verdict? A painstaking blow to a once promising vision. In the end, Theranos became a cautionary tale of ambition gone awry, a reminder that truth always finds a way to surface, no matter how deep the lies are buried.